have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla. Wake up, Megalon! There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe here. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Cool. We're back. Awesome. Dude, Jay, before we even get into anything, I just have to say thank you for keeping this going while I'm out and roaming around and checking out Chicago.
What is new?
You put together a really awesome episode last week, and I just want to say thank you for that. And thank you to all of those people, Andy, Ryan, Lou, Michael, everybody who came and helped out. That was an awesome episode. We listened to it on the way home, and I was just like, this is great. Like I'm watching Toy Anxiety, I'm listening to Monster Island, and I didn't have to do any of it.
Well, thank you, first off. And of course, thank you. Yes, I'm glad you mentioned it, but I'll echo that and thank those Kaiju All-Stars for the sofubi Jamboree. Michael Hamilton, love the guy from Kaiju Weekly and Kaiju Ramen Magazine and the Power Trip podcast. He's awesome. One of the good dudes in this kind of kaiju circle. Ryan Wilhelm, I know him from Dallas Vintage Toys because he's a local here, but he's been a big YHS follower. He's a good dude and he knows his stuff. And then I thought it was just a huge coup to be able to get Lou Munster on. She is awesome. I mean, she is like, a diva when it comes to designer vinyl. She knows her stuff. And then Andy Peters, of course, he's freaking Andy Peters. I mean, he is one of the guys that, like, when you get into this in the sofubi collecting world, it's like there's 3 or 4 guys and gals that you like have to know. And it was really cool to have all of them in kind of one little bubble. And some of them met each other or online and stuff. It was just kind of cool to see them interact and have a really cool conversation about something that I love and hopefully it came across that they love, which is sofubi. Sure. So thank you guys. And also, Jake, while we're throwing out thank yous, I also wanted to thank also within the kaiju community, Kaiju Kim. She has a YouTube channel. She does a lot of stuff with a lot of other personalities within the kaiju world. She did a really cool charity live stream last week that we were able to, on behalf of YHS on Monster Island and Toku Toy Town, donate some items to, and they hit their fundraising goal for Toys for Tots within the first 30 minutes of the live stream.
Whoa, yeah, that's amazing.
So I wasn't able to join, but we, YHS and Monster Island made sure we got our donation to them in that great cause. So thank you. And then, of course, last but not least, thanks to Ryan Dole for allowing me to join Toy Anxiety yet again for a third time. But it was really cool to do that with you guys out. And we're talking a lot about thank yous. And when I think thank yous, I think Thanksgiving, but that's the old holiday. We're getting into the other holidays, right? And, it's interesting for those that might not know, in the kaiju world, most of the normal boys and girls out there, they're waiting for Santa Claus, right? In the kaiju world, we don't really have a Santa Claus. We have kind of like a kaiju claus, if you will, and not much is known about this person. And, it's very, he's the one that will hop into his sleigh, which is just like a converted maser cannon, and he'll fly with his 8 kaiju. He'll fly with his 8 kaiju around, distributing X Plus and sofubi and VHS of kaiju movies to all the good kaiju collectors of the world. But nobody knows much about him, right? And so I think this was when we were recording. It might have been our Space Godzilla episode. Yeah, I think it was Space Godzilla. And you had to leave right after it. Normally we chat and stuff. You had to leave, but the cameras were still rolling. I left the computer on. And I'm like, interesting, because I hear something, and I'm like, something about I have to practice. And then I started hearing this kind of like throaty baritone that I recognize the singing voice, and I hear now Mothra, now Manila, now Zilla and Varan, on Batra, on Gigan, on Manda and Megalon. And I was like, who is that? And I look over, and there he is, putting on his red and green colorway jacket. And there he is. The Kaiju Claus is none other than our very own Jake Jaguar, the Yuletide Yongery, the holiday Hedora. You make this holiday season so festive, whether you're hanging stockings or lighting a menorah. He is the Tattooed Titan of Tokusatsu, Kaiju Claws, Jake Jaguar, and the giver of all Kaiju gifts during this holiday season, Mr. Jacob Walsh.
That is me, by the way. That is me. I was like, where's he going with this? That was beautiful. Thank you.
I'm mixing it up, man.
That was number
It's our
one.
holiday episode.
It is our holiday episode.
Yeah.
And because it's our holiday episode, I think we're just going to talk about toys like 90% of the time. I don't want to talk about anything else.
99.
We're going to do some news, but I think it's all toy news basically.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Maybe a little Shin Ultraman teaser. But other than that, yeah, all toys.
A lot of toys. We will do our pickups. We will do a little bit of news, which are all toys mostly. And then we're gonna do at the end of this episode, we're gonna do kind of like our top 10 wish list for Christmas or next year. I don't know.
You know, I would love for Maul to show up next or this week, but that ain't happening. But so
now, before we even get to it, is your wish list things that you're like actively gonna try to buy next year, or is it just like the shit you wish you had?
Both. I think it's a mix.
Same.
I think some of it is, it's at the upper end of the budget, or it's hard to find, or it's both, right? And I mean, some of this stuff, and there's a few things, and when we get to the specifics on them, I'll talk about them. But like, if it came and it was still expensive, and it just showed up, and I was able to buy it, I think I might buy it. Like, it's one of those type pieces, and I don't want to use terms like grail and stuff because it changes. But for the most part, I think I would say it's about 50-50 on what I really actively like. I have a good chance by it. If you talk to me in like 3 months, I'll probably own it. Yeah. And then the other stuff is like, probably won't own it.
Well, dude, I'll tell you from doing, on YHS, we, for the last few years, we've done like a wish list. For Christmas, we've done like a top 10 things we want. And every year, we all end up like making a list like this makes you buy, like you're going to buy at least one thing on your list. And my list has, you mentioned the grail thing. My list is probably mostly obtainable. There are some expensive stuff, but I just kind of off the top of my head, based on my recent experiences and searches, I just wrote the 10 things that came to my mind that I want right now. So it's like, this might be a different list in a week, but there are a few things on my list that I've kind of been thinking about and stewing on for a while. But there's some shit on there that I was just like, oh, this will be cool. So,
well, mine actually changed the day after I finished it, and I had to go back in there and retool it a bit. It's one of those things where it's like it's like you see the squirrel run across the street, like, oh, I need that one now, and it's like I like that one more than this one. Yeah. But it's so fun to talk about, and I'm excited to see what you have on your list. And there's a lot of cool stuff out there in Kaiju land from a collectible standpoint. So I'm excited.
Yeah, same, dude. But before that, we'll get it. Are you ready to do some? You want to get into some pickups, or?
Yeah, let's do some pickups, man. How about you first?
Or do you want to do the news first? What are we doing? You want to do news?
Let's do pickups. Let's do pickups first. I like starting out with pickups.
Okay, it's exciting. You've seen most of my pickups here. But I got going to show you. You have not seen. And I kind of hinted to you. I told you I bought something kind of.
You did.
I just bought it on a whim because it popped up and it arrived. And I even forgot. It came in. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is one of the weirdest, most random Godzilla items that I have bought. And what I have here are pieces of rubble from Godzilla 1998. What? These are actual pieces of the set.
That's amazing.
It popped up, and they popped up in a group, and I was like, I'm always kind of weary, first of all, of like stuff that goes for sale in Facebook groups, but it was it was a trusted source. And somebody who worked on production was in the comments, and he was like, "Oh, I haven't seen this since then." And he's like posting he's like, "Oh, this is from." I was like, "Okay, this is an actual." And there's just fucking pieces of the 98 set. They're just pieces of the rubble from the end, all the explosions and shit. And it even had pictures of the exact building and said what it is or whatever. But I was like, well, I'm buying these, and I ended up getting the last two pieces the guy had. Noticed earlier today he's got more going up, so I don't know if this is something, Jay, that you I know as much as we hate this movie, I'm not gonna not buy pieces of the set.
100%. No, you got to hit me up with that link or whatever. That is amazing. That is one of the coolest, and definitely one of the most unique, but one of the coolest things we've shown on this show. That is awesome, man.
It's weird. I don't know how to display it. It'd be cool if maybe I could put it in a shadow box with, I don't know, a picture or something. I don't know. It's weird, but this was my first. Had to show that off first.
That is awesome, dude. Well, yeah, we're starting off strong this week.
I had to. I was like doing it, and we're starting off good. Do you want me to keep going, or do you want to go back and forth?
Well, I didn't know if it was a good time for you. I know you mentioned that you guys were gone in Chicago this week, but like you guys went to a kaiju pop-up store, right? Let's talk about that.
We did, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of your pickups came from there. I know a lot of your pickups came from there.
Listen, all my pickups came from either the pop-up store or from you. So
nice.
I got some stuff.
Good looking, good choice
that I got from you. But yeah, dude. So we were in Chicago. We spent about a week there. A lot of toy stores, mostly vintage toy stores. Not a lot of kaiju stuff at those stores. But it's the day before our final day, and I'm on Instagram, and a friend of mine that I follow who lives in the area posted. He put it in a story. He was like, "Hey, there's a kaiju pop-up show tomorrow," and I was like, I guess we're going to this. So yeah, it was at a space golf,
cosmic golf,
which is weird but cool. And we drove out. It was almost an hour away. Drove out, and there were two vendors, and dude, they just had so much stuff.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I've seen the pictures that they do, and it's good. Kaiju Days, like I said, a lot of product flows through those Kaiju Days pop-ups and stuff. That's cool stuff, man. That's awesome that you got to go. I've never been to one, so
yeah. I mean, it was cool. It was in a very small room, like the size of this room. There were two figure vendors, and then there were like two art vendors, and I can't remember the artist name. One of them I've seen a lot. I've bought a bunch of his art, but when I walk into a room and it's that full of Godzilla, toys, I can't look at anything. I was like, you can ask Craig, man. I was having like a heart attack. I felt like a panic attack. I did not know what to do. It's been so long since I've been like in the middle of that many figures for sale, and I was losing my fucking mind. I was literally like, don't talk to me. I was like,
that's amazing.
There's a bunch of people. It was ridiculous. So I bought some.
Well, maybe the next time that happens will be hopefully when Toku Toy Town makes their Atlanta debut at Dragon Con next year, if I can get in, and I will.
Dude, you're gonna come to Dragon Con, and I'm just gonna buy all your shit.
Well, shave. Hey, I'll just
making deals at your table. I'm like, Jay, let me get this.
Co-host discount.
Yeah. So I'll go from there then. I'll show off. One of the things I bought is I did pick up this Megalon. I believe this is a Bullmark from. It was this like 92 or something like that.
It was 91. That actually is it's a Bandai that they
Bandai.
They did the Bullmark sculpt.
Okay, it says Bullmark on it. So I wasn't sure.
It's the original sculpt from Bullmark. So Bullmark went out.
Bandai. Gotcha.
Yeah. So in 92 is an interesting year for Bandai. So like, and I know it won't be shown here, but those that watch Toy Anxiety and YHS, so the Mothra that Abby got, right?
Yeah.
That is an old Marasan sculpt that Bandai re-released in 92, that blue. And so I've had that guy on Toku Toy Town a few times. And so in 92, they took a lot of those old vintage sculpts, Bullmark, Marasan specifically, and they re-released a lot of those guys in either different colorways or slightly different colorways. And that's one of the ones. So it's a Bandai product, but it'll still have the Bullmark stamp on the foot. It'll still, but it's very cool. It's I love the Bullmark Megalon sculpt. It's one of my favorites. I love it.
I love Megalon. He's one of my favorite, but this was kind of a panic buy because I had already made other purchases. I made a big purchase at one vendor, and then I was making a big purchase with the second vendor. But I only had one thing in my hand, and I was like, no, I gotta get two things so I can get a little bit of a, I gotta get a double. I gotta get a little bit of a deal. And I was like, I'll grab this Megalon, So I was like, let me get this guy. So I was kind of peeking him, checking him out. His price was pretty good, so I was like, all right,
he's a cool piece. No, I'm a big fan of that one. And that's a great. Yeah, I wish Bandai would go back and do more of that. I don't know why they didn't. But it's like a 1-year thing. They released a few of those, and that was one of the better ones, I think. That and then the Mothra that Abby got's a good one. You see that a lot. Now, if she would have got the original Marasan one from 1967-ish, 78, that would have been like a $300, $400, $500 figure depending on the condition it's in. That's a really good one. But they're really cool.
Yeah, for sure, dude. So another thing I got. Now, I said that was a panic buy. This next thing I got was like I bought we all bought all our stuff, went out to the car, had some snacks, and I was like, well, I got to do one more walkthrough just to look. And this was just the tiny little, like it was a cheap little thing, and I was just like, I'll take this just because I need
after dinner mint.
It was just like a little snack.
Oh, nice.
I picked up this little. I believe this is Marasan.
It looks like one. I mean, it looks like the Marasan, the J-tail sculpt. I can't. Yeah, that's cool looking.
Yeah. So what the guy told me is that the original one was a little. It was like a wind-up toy.
Okay.
And a couple years later, they reused the sculpt, and he said this is a bank. It's got the little thing on the bottom. He told me it was a bank, and he told me how weird it was because it's so small. You can't really fit many coins in here.
It's not a candy case?
I looked it up and I found one, and it said candy, but I'm like, well, it's just this person's word against the guy who sold it to me. So I'm not sure. It's either candy or a bank. There's no slit to put. If it's coins, you got to open it and put the coins in every time. But he's cute. He fits in.
That's awesome.
My collection.
And also the only reason, and they might know more than I don't know the answer, but the reason that if I had to use like an educated guess, I would say candy case is because a lot of the Kaiju sofubi and those sculpts and stuff were used in candy case. In fact, I just put a really awesome Metacom 2021 Hedora candy case. They're still making them as candy cases on Toku Toy Town.
Wow.
That like it's just something that they did. Now it could have been a bank, but like my gut just tells me candy case.
Yeah, I think candy makes more sense, but I don't know.
It's awesome regardless.
You want to go back and forth? You want to show off a couple things?
Sure. You showed something really cute. I'm gonna show something really cute. I'm getting in the Jake realm here, where I got something like really cute. So this is by no means am I going to compare it to the uniqueness of your Rubble from Godzilla 98, but this was for me one of my more unique purchases. So I'll show you the box first, because then I actually haven't taken it out of the box. But so it is a Charmy water. Is what it's called from Tomy, so Tomy Takara, and it's the Godzilla Land Godzilla. So it's one of those things. We had them as kids here. I don't know what we called them. Where it would be like
it's like water. It's like a little game. Yeah.
Yep. You push the button, and that's exactly what this is. You push his belly, and you try to get these little Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan. Or excuse me, Godzilla, Rodan, and Mechagodzilla in this little spaceship. So it is just one of the coolest little things. And then you push this button, and it doesn't have water in it right now, but like there's a little spaceship here, and these little, like I said, Rodan, Godzilla, and Mothra will have to try to land, get them in there, which is a really cool. The only negative with this, I haven't seen this before. The only negative is the latch broke. I can cover it up and put the water in there. It's tough fix. But even if you just display it like this, it's really cool, and I absolutely dig this box. I
love that. Cool. It's weird to me that it's like Godzilla Land art, but then the Godzilla on the actual thing doesn't look like Godzilla. And I know that's a little hard to replicate in figure form, probably, but
I
That's
don't
cool.
know if I don't. It's weird. So this definitely came out in like Heisei era and stuff, and 90s. So I don't even know if did this predate Godzilla anyway. Is it just like kind of like the it's almost like the Godzilla that we'd see in all the little stickers and everything.
Yeah, maybe it was
whatever.
just you're right. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know,
The
but
other
that's cool.
the other thing I got that was non-toy, but I have to admit it because it's very on brand for me. I have to show it off because I am wearing an Orochi shirt after all. Yes, no viewers, not King Ghidorah, Orochi, the eight-headed dragon. I don't collect physical media, but I had to pick this up. How about a Yamada Takeru, a laser disc, with my girl Yasuko Sawaguchi on there. I gotta love this one. But yes, I had to just when I have a rule in life. When you see a laser disc of Yamada Takeru, you buy it. And so that's what I did. And so that was one of my other non-toy purchases, but still in the realm. This isn't toy anxiety. You can show off non-toys.
We
This is
show.
Kaiju Collectibles.
Yeah,
Kaiju Collectibles. So I was pumped about that.
That's awesome. And since you just showed that off, I might as well pull this guy up.
There you go.
Got him in a case, Jay.
And we are
You sent-
unrehearsed people.
You
Unrehearsed.
sent me this as a gift, man, and I
Yes.
appreciate it. This is so cool.
Hey, no worries.
And I guess I'll also, since I have that one out, also the Godzilla 98 bootleg VHS. I love these. I collect this kind of stuff. So Jay, thank you for that.
Yeah, no. Hey, take Toku Toy Town. Those were really cool. I saw them. I was like, I got to get those to you. Yeah, I mean, nobody appreciates a good VHS, a bootleg VHS at that, from Japan more than Jacob Walsh.
I love it, dude. I'm gonna back off from my Kaiju Day stuff and show off the other because I feel like the other stuff is a little calmer.
I like that.
It's all cute stuff. And then we'll get back to the serious stuff.
Hey,
So,
whatever you got to do, man. You got a lot
Now-
more stuff than I did this week. So
I'll just go. Dude, this was my big, usually you got the big show off stuff. And I'm like, well, I bought a little toy, but I took it from you this week. I will show you Jess gave me for Christmas. She gave me another little Nagora figure. So this is the one.
I
It's
love that one. Good job,
It's
Jess.
a different sculpt. This is different sculpt than the other ones, but this is the one that reacts to the sun. You bring this outside.
color changer.
It changes color.
Nice. Oh,
So
that's
very
awesome.
cool on that. And speaking of Nagoras, they had a set that went on sale recently, and I purposefully did not buy it. I didn't even try because I was like, well, I'm going to Chicago. I want to save that money. And then we ended up finding that Rotofugi, I think is how you pronounce the store. And we walked through. It's an amazing store. A lot of really cool stuff, but there wasn't really anything for me. But up in the counter, behind the counter, they have that exact same set that just went out. The lady was like, "Oh, did you try to get these?" And I was like, "Well, I didn't because I was coming to Chicago. But now that you have them, this guy, I don't know how good you can see him there, but he's got that glitter.
Yeah.
It's like the snow, these are like the Christmas time. And the other part, these are sold separately, but they're the same thing basically, is this fucking little reindeer kaiju.
Reindeer, rain dragon. That's amazing.
He's got a bell, and there's a Santa Claus Nagora riding him.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, there's no way I'm not buying this.
No.
Dude, they were selling them only one per household. They were like, you can only do one per household. We got them behind the counter because I guess I didn't get many. But I was like, yeah, I'll take them both. So,
well, I hate cats, and I would buy that. That's awesome.
I just love his little bell works.
Yeah.
And I've seen a few of these. Not quite, the reindeer ones, but I've seen a few of these, but hadn't been able to pick any of them up yet. I don't know what they're calling this guy, but I love it. I love that sculpt.
That is amazing.
Just beautiful. So
I can't wait to see your Instagram photos of those guys.
I'm gonna put together I already took a photo of all my haul that I'll probably post tomorrow, but I'm gonna have to take a picture of just all the Nagoras together.
Yeah.
I got a couple more cute things. This I also got from you, so thank you, Jay. Adding to my Lit Goji collection is this
another weird thing. Yeah,
it's another weird little case with a spoon and some chopsticks in it. And it's just got some Godzilla stickers on it. I love this, and I don't know this for a fact, but I guarantee you there are bowls and plates that go with this.
100%.
I have to find them. So,
well, hey, you can after that you can drink out of your Space Godzilla Godzilla cup.
Yes,
that you have.
exactly.
So you're building like, hey, we can have a dinner party at your house now.
I have to have an entire meal out of those. One more cute thing, and then we can get back to the.
Then we'll get into the rugged stuff.
My plastic heart, you know, the little like cat god in the Godzilla costume.
Yeah.
Usually when they sell those, it's like a big figure that comes with a small figure.
Mm-hmm.
They recently put out, I pre-ordered this like a year ago, it feels like, but they put out a set of 3 of just the little figures. So it's like, there's no big one. There's just 3 of the little ones. And there's like the classic Godzilla. These are all flocked, by the way. The faces are all flocked. So there's the little, just the traditional Godzilla there. There is the bright green and yellow with the pink.
Yeah.
Kind of looks more like little Godzilla as far as the colors go. And then also a little burning Godzilla.
Oh, grab the burning Godzilla. That's
beautiful. I love these. These are so cool. And he's also, it's hard to tell, but he's kind of translucent. He's kind of clear.
Yeah.
You can kind of
it definitely
see
looks
in
that way.
one.
Like a smoky clear.
Yeah, it definitely is for sure. So I love these things so much, and that collection is also getting pretty gnarly, I think. So that's the cute stuff, Jay. You got anything else over there?
Yeah, I'll do my 3 bigger items, I guess you could say, like my main event items, and then you can finish it off with all your Kaiju stuff. So I got 3 things very different. I mean, very, very different figures, but kind of the 3 things, kind of items that I really like. So I'll start off with we'll go in chronological order of release date. I love, we talked about vintage sculpts, right? Marusan and Bullmark and such. And so I have a few of the original medium size. I have a Gorosaurus, Marusan, and a Bullmark Anguirus and Ghidorah. But I've always been looking for the Varan and in the medium size. And I finally found one. I finally got one. So I got from 1971, crisp, smells like the 70s. This awesome Varan, Bullmark, original Varan. No, he looks like almost like Bimular, right? From Ultraman.
I was about to say, I don't know if I would know that was Varan if I saw that.
I love it because it's like classic sofubi, like where they changed it's made it so soft and stuff. But no, this is the classic Varan. He's in pretty good shape. There would have been this around his knees and stuff would have been probably a little bit more filled in with like a dark blue type paint here. But they did about 7 or 8 colorways of this guy. And back then the colorways weren't as exact, right? It was more a little splotchier and it was kind of they might look a little bit different, right? Whereas now they're a little bit cleaner, right? So I love this guy. I love his messed up black grill here. Like, I mean, look at that. I mean, he's just a gnarly looking fella, but I absolutely to me, like I look at this and I'm like vintage Japanese toy, right? And I think that is what really spoke to me. And I've been looking for one of these guys for a reasonable price for a long time. And the only thing I had to sacrifice was whoever owned this in the 70s wrote their name on it. Of course, I don't read Japanese, but so that's the only bad thing. But you know what? For the price I got him, I'm willing to do that. And I don't display him feet up anyway.
You might be able to get that off.
Oh, maybe. And anyway, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I'm not selling this guy. Right? This is not. Yeah, this is one of those that I love, and I'm taking my time with the vintage stuff because when I get to like the giant Godzillas and some of the bigger stuff, or the more rare stuff like the Mechani Kongs or some of the Mothras, it gets expensive. But I'm getting the ones that I liked, and I have and I have like 3, 4 of my favorite ones, and so this guy was one of them. So I was really excited to get this guy. Another thing, so totally changing gears, and both of these actually came out around the same time, but I still love X Plus. I still love my hyper realism, and I still love my non-sofubi kaiju collectibles. And as much as I like to put together sofubi jamborees, I still collect, as Andy Peters would say, some of the gray. And and because I think I was just caught off guard that they were releasing this because it's such a weird play. It makes financial sense when you think about it because it's just a repaint. But I got from a Godzilla store exclusive 30 centimeter line Desugoji, the 94 or 95 Godzilla, so Mogigoji, not Desugoji, sorry, but without the burning. So it's Space Godzilla Space Godzilla suit, but without the burning. So I like to say this is Godzilla right before he stepped on the screen in the movie, or this could maybe be what Godzilla Jr. ends up looking like after he.
Oh yeah, it's the silhouette at the end. Yeah.
So either one works. But it's X Plus. Like there's only I always laugh at the X Plus reviews because like when they do them because it's like it's a great sculpt, it's wonderful. It's like well yeah no shit. All of them are.
What else is there to say? Yeah.
You know, I mean, some of them don't stand up well. I mean, that's kind of a little bit of a critique on some, or they're mad they have a tail stand or not. But at the end of the day, this is a really gorgeous sculpt. He's menacing. I love the suit, and I don't need to have the burning on it. Like I kind of like this piece as it is, and so it was a fun get for me, and I love it. It looks good up there. As I almost knocked my headphones off, it looks good up there on my kind of X Plus ledge or whatever I'm calling it, display section. Which I'm rapidly running out of room. I'm a little nervous about like the next couple things that we have coming in. But anyway, and then the last thing, which is I feel like this is YHS and Monster Island is going to be my place that documents my progression. And if I stay on track, because I've said I'm going to collect to completion the Marasan 350 Biogoji line, all of the crazy, wacky variations, which I hit a little bit of a roadblock this week. I was like, I'm going to get this one. Oh, nope, can't find them anywhere. So a little nervous. No. But I was able to get one of the, a really cool one that I didn't think I would like it as much as I did. I got it because I didn't see a lot of them. I panic bought it. And I might be one of my favorite ones of the line. So I showed you the red and black clear one. So this is that same red clear vinyl, but it's accented with this awesome kind of gold color.
Whoa.
So he has these really, like, he looks just really cool in the light. And the vinyl's a little less translucent. It's still translucent, but because of the paint application, and you'll see some dark here as well, because of the paint application, it's not as see-through, and it kind of gives this really cool aura when it's, especially in light and stuff. But I love the Biogoji suit. I love Marasan's sculpt of the Biogoji suit. I love the colorways and the kind of the gimmicks that they did with this line. It is a big piece. It's a cool piece. It's one of my favorite. And I absolutely just fell in love with this particular colorway. I absolutely love it. No gimmicks on this guy. No glitter, no glow in the dark, no color change. Got those. But this one is absolutely gorgeous. And I put him next to my orange clear and my red clear, kind of as an evolution, right? As I'm trying to make the colors make sense. But it's he looks perfect up there. I absolutely love this guy. I was very excited to get him. And so, yeah, those are my big three, the 95 non-burning X Plus, the 71 vintage Bullmark Varan, and then the Marasan 350 Biogoji red clear with gold accent paint. Those are my three big pickups.
Dude, those are good. Those are all, they're all beautiful.
And also, hey, did I mention Yamada Takaru and Laserdisc?
Dude, love it. Good stuff,
hey,
man.
Let's talk your haul.
Boy. All right, let's get back to it. This one has been on my list for a while. I've always kind of wanted this. My favorite kaiju of all time, Biollante, picked up this guy. Now, this is the Vinyl Wars Biollante. Dude, this thing's pretty.
Yeah.
I know there are some variants out there. I think this is just the regular. I love this. And I do have a I'm not sure if it's the same company, but I do have a Godzilla that kind of pairs with this. I don't know if they were made to pair with each other, but I do have a sofubi Biollante Godzilla that I'm gonna put this guy with on the shelf.
Nice. Nice. It's Vinyl Wars. It says Metacom.
Yeah, Metacom. Yeah, it's a Metacom figure. I don't know when these came out, but it says 1999 on it. But yeah, dude, I just think this is one of those. This is even before I started. I've talked before on the show about how it took me a long time to even like want any Safu. You know, for a while I was 100% realism guy. Yep. In this stuff, I did not get. And it was this figure that I saw that was like, okay, that's cool. There's something about this. not really looking like Biollante, but looking more like a crocodile than she actually does. And I think this sculpt is one of the best things I've ever seen. And this is kind of what pushed me into like, hey, maybe I do like this weird shit. So
now,
I needed it.
Is that Medicom or is that M1? I thought those were M1. There's a Medicom.
So what's weird is that
it could be an M1 sculpt because Medicom uses other people's sculpts.
It says M1, but the tag says Medicom and Vinyl Wars on it.
Then that's So Vinyl Wars is like they work with different the big manufacturers, right? So they'll do the M1 sculpt to release them that exclusive colorway. I'm not as familiar with that colorway. So that's what it was. I do think they released that on its own, and then Medicom re-released it with different colorways. That's typically what they've done. With a lot of their cooler stuff. But that's that sculpt is awesome. But it's funny you mentioned like I also kind of know like the specific sofubi item that got me to be like, oh, I really like this stuff. Actually, maybe more than the other. And I've showed it off on the show when I finally got it because I did the photos. Was that cool marmot Varan that I had with like the red and the blue and everything? That was the piece that I was like, I'm going to collect this maybe as my primary thing because I get it. Like I get it now. And so everybody has one. You know, it's most people start off with the Nakajima as their actual first big sofubi item. Right. But for me, like that Varan, and that's why I was so happy to finally have it. I was like, that was the one that I can be like, oh yeah, I like this stuff a lot. Yeah. Like maybe too much. That's cool.
I mean, I don't have a ton of sofubi. Most of the stuff I own is like older vintage, like, you know, a lot of the Trendmaster stuff, just a lot of random Godzilla toys, more realistic though. But that is the first one that made me want to buy anything. And the first one I ever actually bought is the Godzilla that I was just mentioning. And when we're done recording, I'll go grab it and show it to you because I don't know off the top of my head who made it, but I'll grab it and we'll. Cool. So the next thing that I will show is another one of those like I've had all of the pieces I bought are things that I've like kind of had my eye on, and
that's amazing.
This one I went back and forth. It was on Awesome Collector for a while, and I never pulled the trigger on it. And then one day I was just thinking to myself, "Oh, I need to go buy that. What am I doing?" And I went to buy it, and it was sold out. And they had it. They had it, and it was also in the box, and it was back behind. It was like hidden. It was on the top shelf behind a bunch of big figures, and I was like looking at it as if I was like looking through the trees. I was like, and I was like, oh my god, that's it. I'd already bought a bunch of shit, so but I'm just burying the lead here. It is the Bandai Premium.
Yes.
Jet Jaguar set. There is this one, and then we got flying Jet Jaguar
with the antenna out.
I love that one. It's on the floor. It's right there. Yeah, the antenna. He's got another little antenna that goes right here, and it just keeps popping out. But no stand for this. No way to display this guy. His feet, are not flat, so I'm gonna have to buy some kind of a stand or something. Yeah. I'm sure there's some figure stands out there that will work well for him, but I love this set. And in this, he has 2 other sets of arms that these arms pop right off. Mm-hmm. And there's a little piece of plastic in here that holds this on. Mm-hmm. So I can take the effect off. I can put hands that are like the karate chop hands, or they're like fist hands, and they're
punch.
They're bent at the elbows. So this, I have wanted this for so long.
It's such a cool set.
God, it's amazing. I kind of want to take these tags off. I kind of want to take all the tags off.
Yeah,
I kind of hate that. Like, it does not display great when there's a giant tag hanging. I'm not the kind of person to take all the tags off because I feel weird about that. But part of me just wants to cut every fucking tag off of every toy I have because I hate that.
I'm not a tag person. When it comes to like a Bandai and stuff, like the tag means nothing to me. I'll save it if I got it right. But if I buy it with tag and that's my only option, usually I cut them off.
Look, this one even has like, why does it have 2?
That's how you can hang him from the ceiling.
Is that what that's for?
No.
I guess maybe that's what I'm going to do with it. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Fine. He's fine. That's a cool. I mean, I know you. I remember when you told me about your unfortunate awesome collector when you went back to try to buy it. So I'm glad you finally can check that off the to get list. Sounds like you were able to check a lot of stuff off.
I did. I did
amazing.
well.
That's a good feeling.
It felt so good, dude. I got one more thing from there. It was the first thing I bought. I saw it immediately, gravitated towards it. It was another thing that's been on my list. It's a set.
Yes.
And it is this Godzilla and biollante toy pirate set.
There you go.
This fucking fat, weird, stubby Godzilla with red eyes is beautiful.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Love this. I love this weird, also very stubby biollante. I know there are some variants of this set, but I don't know much about them. What's original or what came first? I know Godzilla's eye color. There's some variants where the only difference is like his eye color. So, but I don't know a whole lot. I tried to do a little bit of research before we got on here, but I love these, man, and I think these will pair well with the other biollante and the other 89 Godzilla that I already have. It's going to be a nice little setup.
Those figures are so awesome, Jake. They'll pair with anything. That's amazing.
Yeah.
They'll pair with Transformers, man. They're that good. I like Transformers. That's
won't in my collection.
Jake hates Transformers. Yeah. How about Masters of the Universe?
Yeah, I'm trying to sell all my Masters of the Universe stuff.
Those are awesome. Those are really cool, man.
Do you need a Castle Grayskull?
I don't.
Still in the box, unopened.
I don't.
It's basically a kaiju.
Yeah, no.
You can have it for free.
I do like Masters of the Universe. I do, but I'm not a collector of the stuff. I have one or two items from vintage. But you do have one more pickup. Kinda. It's not there, but I have to tell you, so save this as a surprise before we go on to toy news.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you got coming your way a holiday gift as one of our best clients at Toku Toy Town. You're getting a special gift, and it comes from Japan. Surprise, surprise. As I reach over here to try not to knock anything over. From the wonderful designer toy manufacturer Secret Base, to add to your collection. A Stay Puft split, because I know you don't have any split.
I don't.
The silver glitter variant split, still in package, coming to you, Mr. Tattooed Titan of Tokusatsu, a holiday gift from Toku Toy Town to you, my friend. Well earned. I hope you keep this collection alive. These are badass, and I know you got the glow in the dark, which is I think is gorgeous. And I hope this will let you go down the really scary rabbit hole, but a fun one. And this will be coming your way next week, assuming the post office doesn't lose it. But yes, so happy holidays from Toku Toy Town and the other half of YHS and Monster Island to Mr. Jacob Walsh.
Thank you so much, man. That's amazing. I do. That is a rabbit hole that I want to go down, and you know that because I've been talking.
They're
to you
really
about
cool.
So I see what you're trying to do. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
And I'll be serious. Like those Secret Base Stay Puffs. Like, I mean, I love Ghostbusters. I'm not a collector like you guys are by any means. Like, not even 1/10 of it. But I have them like just kind of sitting here up in my room. Like all my other stuff's kind of in my inventory closets and everything. Yeah. And I have these up here because like they look good and they're really cool because it's such an iconic Stay Puft, obviously such an iconic image, and then it's such a kind of off the wall wacky thing to split them in half and show it. Like it's cool. It hits on the right art notes, and also the sofubi notes, also the Ghostbusters notes, also the kaiju notes. It's a really cool piece. Yeah, and it's like the right size too. Like it's like it feels right. And they're really cool. So kudos to Secret Base. But that's a really cool one.
I appreciate that, man. Those are very cool. I think I'm actually going to be picking up some shelving units this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully it was, we talked about it on Toy Anxiety last night, like what our goals are for our toy goals for the next year. And one of mine is like, I gotta, for the last like 6 months, I've basically been putting every one of my buys in just the corner of my toy room. My toy room is like this high.
The most expensive
Stacked
corners
neatly.
everywhere.
It's just a neat stack of all of these toys because my shelving in my toy room is just kind of at its its end, and I got to pick up some more shelves. So I think I'm going to be picking up some shelves this weekend, and it's going to be really, really hard to figure out what's going in them because I'm not going to have enough. But
you know what? I mean, I think it's all about content, right? I think that is something you might have to live stream. You might have to live stream you making these decisions of what goes into what shelf. And you can have we can have somebody there reading the chat. Like we have stuff thrown at you left and right. Put this there, put this there. Because everybody has an opinion.
There's so many options. I got a fucking Sentinel just sitting on the floor in there. And I got some stuff that's gonna come out of some shelves that I'm gonna condense. Yeah. I do have some Masters of the Universe stuff that I'm displaying that I'm getting rid of. All of that. I don't know why I started that collection. But I also do have 2 giant boxes full of Star Trek The Next Generation figures.
From the great Hal Clay.
Yeah, Hal gave me those and I really want to display them, and they're just in the closet because I have not been able, there's like 3 different enterprises and just a ton of figures, and I'm like, I gotta get some of this stuff out.
You know what opportunity you guys have missed? I'm about to take this up with the boss man. I'm about to talk with Craig. Not in group therapy, not in the community of YHS built up, but you guys should have a separate group, like a YHS garage sale, a YHS whatever, and it can be a community to sell stuff back and forth. Like you guys have to approve the postings, right? And whatever, and like separate, but it has the YHS brand, and that way you guys can go in there and sell your stuff and you get rid of it. Like,
you're right, dude. We probably could. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Think about it. You guys have 1,000 people plus in group therapy. 95% are collectors of something. Of those 95%, probably 95% of those at some point want to sell some stuff. And who better than like your buddies in your community? Everybody's so respectful. There's probably not a lot of price gouging and things like that. And I've seen it done in other groups. I think of like the Collect All Monsters, Monster Garage and things. Yeah. And it's a really cool resource. It's one of the first places I go just because you have legit collectors that know what things are worth. You don't have, weirdos in there. So, but somebody like you that probably has, 1,000 items you might have to get rid of. Like throw it in there,
Yeah, you're right, dude. Well, you might
anyway.
We might be hitting you up to moderate that.
Nope.
No,
Blue Chainsaw Man can do that.
Cool. So we got some new stuff.
We do, and I'll share my screen because we got some cool stuff. But
all right.
I'll start off with something, and I mentioned this a little bit at the top of the hour. I'm a newscaster now.
Sure.
At the top of the podcast, that Michael Hamilton helped me out with the sofubi Jamboree, and him and Travis Alexander, who run Kaiju Weekly, and I think there might be some other folks. They've started Kaiju Ramen Magazine, and that it's a great magazine. Think of it like a Gfan, but not Gfan, right? It's kind of the alternative. I don't want to sound like so Eve, like we hate each other. The alternative, right?
Right.
Their fourth episode. I can't talk, man. Their fourth issue. There you go. Just dropped the physical version of it, and it just dropped. Look at this. It's a gorgeous cover.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, their covers are really good, man. So it's here. I encourage everybody to go check it out. Go grab a copy or a digital copy. They get some really cool stuff. Oh, look at that. And full disclosure, I do have an advertisement in there, as is Kaiju Live. Kaiju Live is a great one, but it's a really cool magazine. And, I think they get really awesome content. And I think they get some really cool articles. They talk everything, Tokusatsu, Godzilla, you name it. And like I said, I really encourage it. And, if you're not bored with Gfan, but, a lot of us have been reading Gfan for 20 plus years, it's like something different, right? And it's always fun, even though print media is dead, it is fun to kind of pick up a print magazine and be able to like thumb through the pages, and it's all talking about kaiju. So Michael, Travis, and of course, Michael's a designer by trade, so it's a gorgeous layout and stuff.
Right.
And Travis are good dudes. I haven't had a chance to meet Travis, but from what everybody said, he's a good dude. And those guys put on a great podcast, but also even more so a really cool magazine. So go check that out. So a little personal kind of kaiju news, or maybe a little bit, less about the big national toy companies. So I'll get to the last non-toy thing. Was really big deal was Shin Ultraman.
Yeah,
getting a release date as well as a little teaser trailer. Again, I don't know if the trailer really did much. I was more excited to see May 13th, 2022 in Japanese theaters, plastered on the article, because now we know that it's actually happening.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, me too.
I remember there was that early teaser, months ago, and then it kind of went quiet. And then there was like, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a little bit of like weird, confusing news about it. And I think
if it was going to happen still,
there was a moment people thought maybe it wasn't happening. And then I just completely forgot about it. So this came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, we got more Ultraman here. So
yeah,
I'm very excited that this is still happening.
When you sent me that note on that it's the teaser, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go watch the Ultraman. And I watched like 2, 3, 4 episodes of the 66.
Yeah.
So I was like all pumped. I was like, yes, I want to go see it. It's like, oh, it doesn't come out until May and in Japan. So I don't know when I'm going to see it.
Who knows when we'll see it. Yeah.
Yeah. But good stuff. So let's talk toys. And we can go
Sure.
rapid fire because I know we're going to talk toys in the main event here.
Yeah.
But there was some really cool stuff that came out. And then even today, and I don't have this queued up, but I don't know if you guys saw, there was a, the Real Master Collectors X Plus series. I'm going to pull it up. The maquette just came out here. 1 second. I'm going to pull this bad boy up. The 2000, the Millennium maquette replica. Where is it? The Yuji Sakai. Hold on 1 second. Share screen here. So I was going to ask you a question about this one. Okay. So this, because I know they just came out with the maquette, right? So is this just the harder vinyl real, the Real Masters Collector version of that? Do you know? I don't know.
I didn't see this today.
Yeah,
I just
came out.
That's a good looking thing.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same thing. Oh, maybe the difference is you just get that little stand.
Yeah, maybe that's the real. The RMCs do come with the stand.
Yeah, I don't know.
RMC King Goji, and they're actually made with resin instead of the harder vinyl that like an X Plus like 30 centimeter is. So I don't know if this is just the resin version. I haven't read. I could it probably says right here. I just haven't read through it because it literally this popped up when we were hitting record. And I was like,
gotcha.
But it's a gorgeous figure. I didn't get the X Plus. Excuse me, the 30 centimeter. Just the regular version of the maquette, and because I don't love Miragoji, but the maquette's actually way cooler looking. So this one I might look at. This one looks pretty cool.
This I gotta tell this small story really quick. I know this is
only $1,000.
Only $1,000, dude. Yeah. This reminds me. You remember we did our episode about our favorite designs and our most hated designs, and we came to the conclusion that neither one of us really likes, Godzilla Millennium.
Yeah,
basically, most of the Godzilla. So we're at the toy show. We're at the Godzilla pop up, and Craig's like figuring out what he likes and what he doesn't like, and he goes, "Hey man, come here for a second." And he points. He goes, "What is this? What Godzilla is this?" And it was a Godzilla 2000 suit. Figure, it was like, I think it was like bright yellow or something, but it was the Godzilla 2000, and I'm like, oh, I was like, that's the Millennium Godzilla, and he goes, all right, well, I know I hate this. He's like, I don't know anything. He was like, whatever this version of Godzilla, I don't like the way this looks, and I was like, hey, I hate it too. I was like, none of us like it.
And like, Craig, if you listen to our show, you'd know that.
He doesn't listen. Cool. Yeah. What else you got?
So we got some. This is one I was super excited about. So I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen here, and I'm a little nervous about next year. We talked about with it being Gigan's 50th anniversary and how well they did with Fedora. Yeah, it's a lot. So this is a Godzilla store, a Marasan Lucky Bag exclusive. 4 variants. It's gonna be hard to see here, guys that are watching, but I mean, it's a translucent with glitter. And there's just these 4 really cool, slightly different variant colors here. But I mean,
let me for people who are not watching and they're just listening, let me try to describe it a little bit. What you're seeing is the most beautiful kaiju design ever created, Gigan.
Yep.
Looking as silly as always, in a very dynamic pose where he kind of looks like he's waving at you. And they're all gold and clear. And there's glitter, and there's like a golden blue, there's like a golden silver, a gold, and that looks like rose gold to me. I want that. And these are beautiful. I don't know how hard these are going to be to get, but I want at least one of these. I am so excited for next year being the year of the space chicken, the year of Gigan. I cannot wait to buy any of this merchandise.
It's going to be amazing. These are gorgeous. That was beautifully described. And yeah, I mean, it's a Godzilla store, Lucky Bag exclusive. So there's not going to be a ton of these made. It's going to be a pretty hard ticket to get on the secondhand market. I'm sure, through a lot of the good retailers out there that kind of source this stuff, that it'll be out there. My gut, I mean, I think they're probably $130, $140 like originally. Like this is going to probably be a $250 purchase is my gut when it's all said and done from Japan. If you can find them, maybe more. I think these are going to be a hot ticket. I really do. These are great. And I saw these and I'm like, I got mad and then I got sad because I was like, I need these. I don't have these. This angers me.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
cut to a year from now when you got all four.
I know. Then it's gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is truly the first Gigan collectible that's been announced for next year. And this is what they hit us with. Like, how am I going to survive this? How am I going to survive? Then I start thinking, oh my gosh, in 2025, when it's the year of Titanosaurus, I don't know how I'm going to survive that. So we'll figure that. We'll figure that out. So, and then I'm going to pull up here another one here that this is also equally amazing to me. Metacom, our good boys, Vinyl Wars. They do the EX figures, these larger ones, and this is one they did with a work they did with Unraku and Saku, which we know it's an acquired taste. It's not always my favorite, but this I might have to add this to my wish list because it is a 73 Godzilla done in that Unraku Ansaku style, which, like I said, is not for everybody. It's a big figure. This is a big 12-inch or so, maybe 11-inch figure, so it's gigantic. And it's just like, I want to see him go fight Megalon. And this is an absolute gorgeous lottery figure. So it'll be one that, I mean, another $250 plus, I think, on the secondhand market, and at least initially, if you get this guy. But this is one that I'm going to own. Like, I'm going to go after this guy hard if I don't win the lottery, which I won't. I haven't won one yet. But this is an absolutely gorgeous figure. When they announced this, I was like, heck yes, amazing.
I mean, it's a beautiful toy, man, and I mean, the 73 Godzilla has he's got such a charm to him anyway. You know, I've always loved the way he looked, and that's a good toy.
So I'll rapid fire these. I thought you would just dig these. So, did you see these?
Go ahead. Okay. I looked at these in the email.
Okay, good. So, we talk a lot about sofubi, but we also talk a little designer toys. And I know your wonderful co-hosts, Abby and Craig, are dipping their toes into that water. So a lot of smaller, even more boutique collectors. We're not talking the Marsons and Metacoms of the world, but even more, in the boutique collectors, kind of unlicensed properties, even though these are licensed. This Matango and Mechagodzilla release looks amazing. So this is from Swimmy Design Lab, and Swimmy's a big one. This Mechagodzilla, it's this, I don't even know, like light blue with this gold trim, and he has a clear, over-the-top, cartoony, almost canine-like head. And then you pop that bad boy off. It's like, they said it's even like marble, the blue in there. You pop that head off, and it's going to be hard to zoom in on this guy. Here we go. And you have this little weird, creature there, kind of operating everything. Isn't that amazing?
I want that. I want that figure. I love everything about it. Is that little creature? Is it one of the? It's one of the
simians. Is it supposed to be one of the simians?
I think it is. It's a simian. I love.
It makes sense.
I love the turquoise color. It just like you said, marble. It looks like it's made of marble. The gold. It is so weird. I love this toy. I want that.
So, it's lottery. it is one you can get shipped to the US, 30 pieces being made. It is true designer. Yeah.
Oh
so
my God.
I don't know.
So I'll never own it.
Yeah, it's it is a Black Hole 3, a Planet 3 alien. They did confirm it. It looked almost more like different than like a semi, but it is. It's this guy, if you win the lottery, is $330. Yeah, that's designer toys though. Like people always joke about sofubi. It's like those things because they only make so few. But also, I absolutely love the Matango as well. I mean, this is a cool ass colorway. And it's just this big, just gross looking mushroom person. And yeah, it's very cool. It's kind of a brown and a gold. Excuse me. There you go. I love this. And, we talked about Matango a lot on our Matango episode. I like, maybe not Hedora level, but like people that love Matango sofubi and toys. And this is a really cool piece.
Yeah, dude. I like how nice and thick he is. How big those feet are. I love it.
Yeah. That thing is, on Toy Anxiety and even on YHS, you guys talk a lot about figures falling down, and detoss and stuff. You got to get the right stand, the right peg to fit in the heel to keep those figures up. No worries with this guy.
Gotta have those Matango feet.
And then the last one, and I know actually I have two more, and they're both a little less kaiju, more in the Tokusatsu hero side of things. But I thought this was really cool. So, we don't talk a lot about Tokusatsu, like the Sentai shows and Henshin shows, I should say, like Super Sentai and Ultraman and stuff. But Mirror Man is one that I feel is getting a lot of making a little bit of a comeback. It's a Subaru property and everything. And Bullmark is doing this really cool Mirror Man, Graveyard Gallery is taking the Bullmark sculpt from Mirror Man and re-releasing some of these figures. And I just thought these were really awesome because these two kaiju that are apparently some of his chief villains. I've never watched Mirror Man, but I thought these two were amazing. I mean, look at that guy, kind of that like Indian elephant god type thing there, and in this thing, I was like, I kind of like to see these like three as a set, or even with this guy down here, the Mirror Man down here, like that is just really really cool. These jumped off the page at me.
I'm not familiar with Mirror Man at all. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, why are we going to talk about this guy? But this elephant face dude is one of the coolest looking kaiju I've ever seen.
100%.
I would buy that in a second.
Yeah. And maybe we have to put that up on an episode in 2022. We maybe have to watch the entire Mirror Man.
We're watching some Mirror Man.
Yeah. So very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. And then the last one, we started with Shin Ultraman, the teaser. We're going to end it with X Plus announced that they are, I think in the 25 centimeter line, the large monster series, the Daikaiju series, they are finally releasing a Shin Ultraman figure. It's Ultraman. I know the Shin design is a little bit different, but like it's, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just saying like, it kind of, what you're going to get. And they gave us what we thought we were going to get,
Yeah.
But, I mean, that would still look cool on any shelf, him in this Specimen Ray stance and everything, but very cool stuff. And just glad that they can finally say they have a Shin Ultraman X Plus figure.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm honestly even like surprised that Shin Ultraman's designs are as tame as they are compared to what we got in Godzilla. So, but yeah, it's just Ultraman. It looks great. I'm not going to buy it, but I love it.
I was thinking, so it's funny you mentioned that. So I was actually thinking to myself, that I also am like, okay, so you get Shin Godzilla, right? And it's so out there.
Yeah.
And Shin Ultraman is not. So I'm just thinking, what are some of the kaiju that he's going to fight, whether it's Naranga or whoever else? Like, they might be the ones that they just go over the top with. So, and that kind of excites me.
There'll be a nice, like, if Ultraman is super kind of, I don't want to use the word plain in a derogatory sense, but if Ultraman is simple and nice and clean and plain and it's the Ultraman we know, but then the kaiju are fucking scary and weird and like, whoa, like I will love that. Even if they're not, I can't imagine that some aspect to the story is gonna be
over the top, something
weird, and so we'll see. I'm very excited for it.
I love that because it almost makes Ultraman, think about Ultraman as he is, against like really crazy, horrific monsters that you said are more like more Shin Godzillas, it almost makes him even more of like an underdog, right? Because it's like, how is this guy gonna beat some just crazy looking Bimular or Naranga or whoever? Yeah,
there's all kinds of possibilities on what could happen. So
it's gonna be fun. So a lot of cool. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff dropping. A little out, some designer toy stuff, some X Plus stuff. The Marasan Gigan stuff to me and the Metacom Godzilla 73 were my like two that I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta acquire these somehow. But at the end of the day, like it was a lot of cool stuff dropping and just more good news on the Kaiju collectible front.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff there. Also, nothing that we need to stay on too long, but Cavity Colors did release their biollante collection.
Oh yes, that's right.
So that's out there.
So you bought the whole thing, I'm assuming. You bought them out of business?
I bought two of them. I bought two of the shirts, but there's a third that I might go back and pick up. So I do love it all. Yeah,
excellent. Yeah.
Are we ready to get to this wish list?
Tomorrow afternoon, starting at 1, WOR-TV presents a full afternoon of action and adventure. Jack Palance stars in Godzilla vs. the Cosmic Monster, followed by Godzilla vs. Megalon, and then Godzilla takes on the Smog Monster.
Hey, dudes, bedtime!
Do you A, obey the babysitter, B, beg to stay up, C, hit her with thermonuclear breath? It's Godzilla, king of the monsters. His eyes flash as he roars. His arms swing, feet stomp, tail whips. Godzilla rules. Collect Godzilla and all his friends of destruction, then fight the ultimate battle where no one is safe.
Cool hair.
Batteries not included. From Trendmasters, yes.
Take control with Battle Action 8 Godzilla. 4 building-busting actions, 4 spine-chilling sounds, and incredible reptile-feel Godzilla skin. Take control with Battle Action 8 Godzilla and Action Feature Baby Godzillas, only from Playmates.
リモコンゴジラ出現。歩く、泣く、光る。レーサー戦車がコントローラー。 バンダイリモコン電動怪獣王ゴジラ
I think we are, man.
How do you
I'm
want
excited.
to do this? Do we want to go back and forth, or do you just want to do your whole list?
Yeah, I mean, everybody listening at home, like no limitations, right? Like it was just if you had to go
cheated on half of mine. Half of mine are 2 things on one.
No, I did one that's a big cheat, like 14 things on one. No, but that's okay. It's our wish list. But like, there's no limitations. Like if we had to like rank our top 10 or so collectibles that we would, if we wished, when we showed up on Christmas morning or whatever morning, that we had Saturnalia morning, like bam, we would have under the tree. Yeah. These would be those guys, no monetary restrictions within reason. Like I didn't say like, oh, I want the original. I want a
everything
on Sweat from A.G. Subaraya. No, I didn't get anything like that. Like,
well, that was my number one. Everything on my list is obtainable. So.
Yeah, same. Yeah, but it might be hard to find. I have to wait a little bit, and it's nothing I have to. There's some stuff that isn't cheap, but it's not like I would have to, sell my house to buy. Like it's all
same. It's not like
other collectibles that are more expensive than everything on this list.
It's not like whenever YHS did like 2 years ago, YHS did one of these lists, and it was all stuff that's within reason that I could buy if I really put my mind to it.
Yeah.
And then Abby's number one was like a $45,000 RV or something, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not a toy. Yes. So I figured we'll start at number 10 and work our way up to number 1.
Yeah.
Jay, do you want to do your number 10 first?
Yeah, and I actually, so unfortunately, because that's why if you saw me like those watching, if you saw me like looking away a bit, I spent all this time pulling up all these images of all these things, and then of course I clicked off of it and I can't find them. So I'm going to pull them up real quick, but I can. Well, no, I'm not, because now that's how my computer's frozen. So I'll talk about. You know what? How about you go first?
I'll
go
my
second.
Number 10, and then you can.
Sure.
I'm sorry that I don't have screen share.
No worries.
I don't know if I can even screen share since you're the host. I don't know how that works. Well, that's probably something we should have worked out because that would have been great for me to screen share all mine, but I don't have them. But my number 10, now there might be a couple things on my list that would never be on your list.
Okay.
Or anybody listening. But my number 10, and I put this at number 10 because I was like, I, with a good conscience, could not put this above anything else. But it's something I want.
Okay.
It just so happens to be something from Godzilla 98.
I love it.
I really want, I talked about it on here before. I've had since I was, a child and that movie came out, they released, Trendmasters released the Ultimate Godzilla, which is a big, very big figure. The figures for that movie are way better than the movie. And that Ultimate figure is, it's made way better than the figures, than like normal. You go to, you're going to buy like Marvel Legends and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're not buying, they're not just putting in the store a almost 3 foot long figure you just buy and it eats things and it roars and it's like well made. But mine broke recently. I've had it forever.
No.
It broke and I want another one, but I want it with the box. I want the packaging. I just fucking want it, dude. The box looks good. I'm going to have to pick it up at some point. It is a little expensive, but it's out. It's out there.
It's attainable. Yeah.
It's obtainable. You can pick it up. I could not put something. That movie sucks. I could not put something from Godzilla 98 any higher on the list, and I felt bad putting it on the list, period. But I've wanted it for a bit, and that's my number 10, man.
So that's a good one. That's a really good one, and I'm not surprised it's on there. That's a cool one to have on there. So unfortunately, my entire computer has frozen up. That's okay. I can get through it. We use the theater of the mind here. But the problem is it froze up, and I don't have my list in front of me. So I do remember what number 10 was. So hopefully I can get that back up at least. Because that might be, I don't know. I changed it so much. I don't know what it 9 through 1 are. But anyway. Number 10 for me was M1. I think M1 Marmot's done some good stuff too, but M1 really has been the best at releasing some of the human sofubi. And they're the ones that did, obviously, Nakajima and the Shobajin and Miss Namakawa. But the one that I really want is it's a set of 2 things. It's the Eiji Tsuburaya sofubi, and he comes with a little creature which is actually his autograph that they fill in the gaps and make it look like a little creature, like he created it, right? And it's a really cool double set. I think it was from 2003, maybe, around that time period. But it's an awesome collectible. I don't have enough like Eiji Tsuburaya things, and that is one that I've really, 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 really been wanting. I have not seen it out in the ether in a really long time. So I'm hoping I can, find one. They're pretty expensive. This is one that probably will be, I might have to eat canned soup and pork and beans that week to pay it off. But it's a cool piece. And, when you have the master of tokusatsu and special effects, in sofubi form, you kind of gotta do it, right? So I'm hoping I can run across it, but that's my number 10. It's a really just awesome piece.
Dude, that sounds great. I screenshot your list from your email and I sent it to you.
Oh, nice.
Just in case you needed to look at it. But I'll tell you, that ain't what you got as your number 10 on the list.
Yes, that's you have my old
list.
Yeah, so I can pull up my new list from my phone. That's a good call. Cool. No. Yeah, it is my number 10 on the new list.
Gotcha. All right, perfect. All right, well, I'm throwing that list away then. My number 9. Super simple. I have an X Plus Megalon, and I need an X Plus Gigan to go with.
Yes.
I try not to put too much of the same kind of things on my list.
Mm.
I'm bad at that though. But I know that there's an X Plus Gigan out there. It's beautiful, and I want it. And it's just as simple as that. I don't have anything else to say about it. I want an X Plus Gigan.
It's awesome. It is one of my big gaps in my X Plus collection as well. In fact, I would have probably put that in probably an honorable mention or really close. That's a really, really cool one. It's It's not cheap, but I'm glad they
sure
finally
it's
did the
not,
30 centimeter Megalon because I love the 30 centimeter Gigan, and I know they reached the 2-pack of the 20. I think that was the Daikaiju series, but it's a cool piece. I need to get that one as well. It's a really, really, really cool piece. That's a good one. So my number 9 is, I've been known to like things that are just terribly ugly. And when it comes to sofubi, and this is one that fits in that mold. And that's and I don't love Kiryu. It's not my favorite Mechagodzilla. I'm more of a Showa era Mechagodzilla guy. And even like the Heisei one, but they did Marmot did for the Mechagodzilla that was in Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. So 2002 with the battle pack armor and everything. They did a really cool vinyl that is just like hideous neon yellow for the most part. And they did a couple slight variations on that. One that's almost entirely neon yellow. One that's like I said, various degrees. They did a gallery edition, this exclusive. I think it was a mail away. I could be wrong on that. But it was mostly like it was silver, had a lot of the neon yellow, the ugly neon yellow accents, and then some like darker in the front. It looks so over the top, wacky, and awesome that I want. It is attainable. It is one that I've seen. It's not a terrible price tag. It's just finding that one versus the other neon yellow ones. It's tricky because there's not a huge amount of difference between them. And so that's one that I absolutely want. And it's the only time you'll see Kiryu on any of my lists. Cause like I said, not one of my favorite, he's not my favorite design, but this one is just so over the top. Now I wish they would do this in, the other Mechagodzilla designs and that would bump it up even more. But that's one that I think I'll probably acquire just cause I know I'll see it, out there for a decent price. I'll be like, I might as well just snag it now. But yeah, so it's the, Marmot Mechagodzilla 2002 Gallery Edition with Battle Pack armor, neon yellow, and all of its ugly splendor.
I can't pick. I need to see that figure. I like Kaiju, man. I think he's got kind of a, I don't know, man. There's something cute about him. He's got sort of a noble face. There's something about him that he looks more organic, I'll say, than like, the Heisei.
No, definitely doesn't. Yeah.
So bubbly looking. I like them all, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't hate Kiryu by any means. It's definitely my third of those three. There's only one Mechagodzilla design I absolutely hate, and that's the legendary one.
Yep.
So
same.
that's it. Everything the other ones are fine.
My number 8, I think you have.
Okay.
I think you might have showed this off recently. So, after my weekend of buying 2 different biollante sofubis, I want that Marathon, dude. I want that, and I want both forms. There's a rose form out there too, and I want them both, man. And I was looking these up, and I know there's a ton of different, there's a bunch of different colorways, variants of it, and I saw some that I was like, oh, that's ugly. I do not want that one, but there's some great ones out there, and I like the plain old, just regular looking, colors, but I want that Marathon now. I want that biollante. I want all of. I was like looking up, trying to just see how many different biollante, sofubis are out there, and it doesn't seem like there's a ton of different sculpts.
Yeah.
But I just want them all now, and that's my number 8.
That's a good one. And so the Marathon 450. I actually have the Nishikawa exclusive, so that's the clear one. That has kind of like the green and the blue and stuff like that. But they do. I mean, they have a glitter one. I mean, they have everything there.
I don't need the glitter. I don't need the crazy shit. I just want one. I just want that sculpt.
It's big too. It's big. It's like
and I like
12 by 12 or something. Yeah, and it has like 8 or 9 points of articulation too. Like all the tentacles move. So you can maneuver them around.
I think it's a good one. I think I found a like clear, sort of a disco ball-ish one, kind of like your. Yeah, I found one of those on eBay at a ridiculous price.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but they're not eBay. Like eBay's like double what they actually are. But and they have a rose form of that one too. But anyway, that's a good one. That's a great piece, and I think it is a showstopper because it's so big and it's biollante and it's it's Marsons. They do really good stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So my number 8 is very similar in the sense that it's a big showstopper. It's a big piece and it's very expensive. It's probably, of all of them on here, I don't know, maybe the second most expensive and probably the second hardest to find. And that is the Giga Brain Ghidorah, the Glow Rainbow. So this is the glow one it's actually blue and yellow mostly, and then the white kind of glow in the dark final. I mean, I know Andy Peters he plays like 7 of them, but it's gorgeous. It is really cool. They have a pink one as well, but I like the blue one. I mean, it is just big and imposing. I think Giga Brain's Ghidorah sculpt is great.
Yeah.
They have a lot of really cool. Marsan has a great one too, but I love Giga Brains. And it is, it's a must have for me. Like I want to, if I see that one coming up, on the auctions for a decent amount, I think that's one that I might have to splurge on and get, because it's just so hard to find, and it's gorgeous.
I think you got to get. I feel like
you get all of them.
I feel like it would be. I don't want to say this out loud, almost, because then we have to do it. But also, like, should we just get on eBay right now and buy something?
Not eBay.
My. I'm just used to eBay. I buy everything on eBay. My number 7 is a little different, kind of skirting the line of kaiju, but
okay, I love that.
And there's 2 of them, but I put them both on here because they're both sort of the same kind of thing.
I'll allow it.
In 1986, Milton Bradley put out a game called Feed Me, and it is a Little Shop of Horrors game for kids, but it's beautiful. The box art is amazing. It's it's straight up an Audrey 2, and you're like feeding it marbles. It is like
that's amazing.
It's like a tie-in with the film, but it's like it sort of looks sofubi-ish. It's like bright green and orange, it's like kind of, and I have wanted it for a while. I have it on my watch list on eBay right now, like complete in the box. And kind of to go along with that, another movie that I love, that I wouldn't quite call a kaiju film, but you could, is this great 80s movie called Alligator, about a giant fucking alligator.
I think you've talked about it on the show before.
I have.
Yeah.
And the company Ideal, for some reason, also made that into a kid's game. There is a game that is based on the movie Alligator, and it's the same, and I just, both of those games, I'm not like one for I don't collect a bunch of games, but the box art on both of those are amazing and would look so good together. Alligator's a little hard to find. There's one on eBay right now, but the price is too high it's not complete, and the price is a little crazy. It's like $250 for an incomplete game, and I'm not going to do that. But I feel like these are 2 things that Feed Me game is a little more affordable, and that's something that one of these days I'm just going to be like, done.
There it is. Yeah, to that, you wake up in the middle of the night like, I'm going to go to eBay and find it and buy it. Yep.
I love.
We've all been there. One of
the things I love I love having old vintage boxes with my figures. Especially ones that are bigger, not just carded figures. I mean, like when I was talking about the Ultimate Godzilla, the box that comes in, some of the old Ghostbusters and, Jurassic Park stuff I have in that stuff displays so well. So both of these pieces would be perfect for that. So
and games always had really cool artwork. A lot of those cool games. I mean, and you're right. There's so many cool lines out there that the artwork on the box is even better than the figures.
Yeah, for sure.
So my number 7 is X Plus. It's my only X Plus on here, but it's one that I've even talked about on the show that I just don't know why I don't have it. It's not that hard to get.
Yeah.
It's the X Plus, the Godzilla 1968, the 30 centimeter. Now, I'll be honest with you. I think I might like the sculpt better on the Daikaiju series 68, the one, the 25 centimeter, and it comes with a Minya. But I almost am exclusively 30 centimeters, except for I do have the red, white, and blue King Ghidorah from X Plus in 25 centimeters. So I don't know if I'm going to make the jump and do that, but that is one that I just got to get a Godzilla 1968 in X Plus form. So it's a big gap on mine.
That'd be a cool figure though. Dude, it's like you can't say anything bad about X Plus basically at all. I like that. My number 6 it's a quick one. I don't know. I don't think this is anything me and you've ever talked about before, but I've looked them up a few times. Bandai put out a monster press conference figure.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen those?
Oh yeah.
I love those. Those I think are super weird. They're for anybody who. Well, I guess you're gonna put up some pictures, but it's literally just like it's Godzilla. I think Mechagodzilla, King Ghidorah, and Hedorah. I think, and they're all kind of bowing over a press conference, and they're apologizing for. They're all apologizing except for Hedorah because Hedorah doesn't believe he's done anything wrong. But they're just these weird little cool figures, and I see them every now and then, and it's like I'm gonna get the. That's the kind of stuff I like. So one of these days I'll pick those up. I don't know what those go for. I've never done like some like cold hard research on trying to buy them. I just see them and I'm like I want those.
They're not bad. They're small. They're very small.
I knew they were small.
They're not bad. I almost bought a Mechagodzilla one for the site the other day. And to be honest with you, I have a hard time sometimes selling some of the smaller stuff. I think some people are scared away by the price tags on smaller items, which, when you've seen enough and you actually own some of the stuff, the detail that goes into those smaller pieces, you don't get as scared. I think it would have been a tough sale. And it was only one of them. I think if it had the set, it would have been different. But it wasn't bad. I mean, I don't know, it was like $30 or something maybe. Yeah. It wasn't bad, but it was really cool. Yeah, those things are awesome. I mean, if you hang out enough on like kaiju side stuff, you'll see people just pop, that throw one up there because it's just like they're so cool.
Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a really good one. I wish I could get the whole set on those as well. That's really cool. My number 6 is one that I've had in my cart a few times, and I've reached out on Facebook and I was like second in line, and somebody that the first guy that got first dibs on ended up buying it. I've tried to secure this one. It's kind of at that level where it's like, okay, this is probably I'm not going to buy anything else this weekend type cost, but it's not like, it's not like third mortgage on a house type thing. So, and it's from Marmot, and it's a big, I think it's like 12 or 13 inch long Batra larva. And I love the Batra larva design, but it's from that weird, like a few in like the 90s, Marmot did these colorways that they dubbed Godzilla Wars. And it makes me think of like the Trendmasters Godzilla Wars, right? Yeah. It's those kind of 90s colors, like the light blues and the dark blues and the yellows and like kind of that kind of wacky. I mean, those that have seen kind of those later Trendmasters toys kind of know what we're talking about. But there's this beautiful Batra that's this blue and bright yellow with these red eyes. And it's actually done like, even though it's Godzilla Wars and kind of funny, it's also one that like, if that showed up on screen, I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. And I think Medicom actually re-released it with the blue. I think Marmot, I can't remember if Marmot did originally and the Medicom re-released it exactly as is or not. But anyway, it's Batra's not like a wacky design. It looks like a Batra. Yeah. And it's just awesome color. And it's one that I've been, like I said, I've almost bought it a few times. And it's either I've just kind of moved on to something else or somebody beat me to it. And it's one that I will grab that one random like Wednesday probably. Be like, this is the day I'm going to buy this Batra finally. But it's been on my list for a long time, and I got to do it. So I put it in at number 6. So it's right after my top 5. I like that. And hey, I don't know if you realize today happens to be some random Wednesday. So it is some random Wednesday. That's true.
That's true. Hey, my number 5 is also Marmot.
Oh, nice.
I want that Godzilla tower.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my favorite piece.
I feel like that's probably a little harder, more expensive figure. I know that there are some variants on that as well. But that is also that's just also Godzilla versus Gigan is great. And the Godzilla tower is such a weird, beautiful piece of film. And I'd love that thing. Yeah. And I want it.
It's one of my favorite pieces. And I have the yellow variant, which was my favorite of the variants. So I was glad that was the one that came up. I'll be honest with you. I check on that guy across all of the avenues that I secure stuff for both the site and just my personal collection all the time.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one pop up in a long, long time. I've overpaid for this, and I'll be transparent. Like, if you see it on any of the sites for $350, take it. because most likely they're being posted for like that $400 range because they sell out they sell like this. Like everybody wants one. They're really cool. But it's on the higher end, obviously.
Yeah.
But it is they're just people don't get rid of those. They don't turn those over.
Would
very
you?
Quickly. Oh yeah,
why
would
would
you
you get rid of it?
Would you? I'm like, no, I would not actually. But that would be one that I totally could see. Like if I didn't already have one, that would be number one on my list.
Right.
It really would. If that is truly my favorite, and that is definitely something that I overpaid for, but I had to have it. And I tell you right now, like I've had zero regrets on that one. Like it might be the question of, if you had to grab one thing from your collection before you leave, it's on the short list. It really is. That's how much I love that piece.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really awesome one, man. So my number 5 is a cheat, and we mentioned it earlier, but you know what? We'll slide. So I'm trying to complete this Marathon 350 line. So it's just all the other ones I don't have of the Bio Goji. So it's the pink glow in the dark, because none of them are any more important than the other one. It's just whichever one. It's just, I want to complete that line. So it's all of them as one. It's the set of 6 or 8 or whatever, however many more I have to go. I don't know if I'm going to go with, so you know how you mentioned earlier, I forgot, I think you were talking maybe about the Toy Pirates, where just the eyes were a different color.
Yeah.
So there are the variants, the major variants with this, where it's like the glitter, the green glitter, the blue glitter, the green clear, the orange clear. But then each one of those has an eye variant, or not each one, most of them do. Like the green clear has a gold eye or a red eye or a black eye.
That's
I don't care about that.
That's insane. If you buy all those, you're an insane person.
Yeah, and it's and like the Nishikawa, same thing. It has a red and a green, and that. So if I don't count that, I think I have 5 more to go to finish off all the variants that I'm aware of.
Not bad.
They just released another new blue one, so something like that. So I'm getting close, but it would be just completing those, which to my knowledge, without the eye variants, is the pink glow in the dark, the blue glitter, the green clear, and the new blue one that they just are releasing in a pop-up, which looks very much like the classic green. It's just slightly different with a little bit of a different chest design. It's enough to where I can call it a different variant. And I think those 5 are the only ones that I'm missing if I don't count the other, the eyeball ones, because I have the others. So it's getting there. So those 5 Marathon 350 Bio Gojis, next on the list.
You got to get them, dude. You got to get them.
I'll get them. I'm not going to give up on that line.
For sure. Dude, you're too close to even think about that. My number 4 is something I've had on a wish list any time I've ever made a wish list. It is not Godzilla. It's not Godzilla related, but it is kaiju.
Yeah.
An American kaiju.
Oh, wow.
Made by Hasbro.
No. What show is this? Is this Toy Anxiety?
When this sold originally, it was like $200, I think. But it was early in my, I wasn't like a hardcore collector at the time.
Yeah.
I was working in a video store, not getting paid a lot of money at the time.
Yeah.
And it was just something I was like, I don't have the $200 to buy on this thing. And now it's available. $1,200.
Oh, no.
$1,500. This, of course, I am talking about the Cloverfield toy. Hasbro put out, Cloverfield came out. Whether you like or hate that movie, I know people are back and forth on Cloverfield. It's fine. I like it. It's fun. It ain't the best movie I've ever seen. But the toy's cool, man.
Yeah.
The Cloverfield figure is nice. It's big. It's got like kind of a diorama. It's got different heads. It comes with some of the little parasite creatures.
That's cool.
It's the only bit of merchandise Cloverfield ever got. It got one toy. It's a good size. It's a big toy.
Yeah.
It is like very expensive. Literally $1,000 is the cheapest you're going to get it. It's just expensive. And I'm never like, I love it, but no part of me wants to spend $1,000 on it. This might be unattainable for me. I don't know. One day we'll see. We'll see what happens with the market in my life. Maybe one day I'll be like, fuck it, I'm spending $1,000 on Cloverfield. But
Yeah.
It's always on my list. It's such a cool toy. And the reason it's up so high, it's maybe the one thing on here. Like, I could probably just go buy any of these other ones, but the Cloverfield toy, it's so expensive. But I put it so high on the list because it's been eluding me for what feels like my entire life. You know, it's one of those things that I'm always like, look at that fucking Cloverfield toy.
Yeah, I almost on that one, because it is so, the price tag is so ridiculous. It's almost like you have to like find that, like, obviously with somebody that like doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna find that at like a garage sale.
Exactly.
You know?
You got to find
20
it somewhere.
Yeah.
I wonder if one day maybe the market on it will just fall apart. And because like if you do go to eBay right now, there's a good number of them on there, all in good condition. There's some unopened. There's one still in the shipping box.
Whoa.
They're all super high in price, and I'm like, there ain't that many people out there trying to buy $1,000 Cloverfield toy. So I wonder if one day somebody's going to break and just be like, all right, I'll take 400 for it, you know, or something, you know.
Yeah,
we'll see. But for now, it's number 4 on that list. It's not getting. It's the one thing on here I can tell you 100% I won't buy next year, but it's still up there.
Oh man, so that's a good one. Yeah, that's gonna be I'll tell you, like, whenever you do acquire that, there's going to be a story around it. Either it's like you found it in a yard sale and you paid $1.50 for it, or you took up 7 jobs to pay for it. There's going to be something around that. That's amazing. So the next 4 for me, I would say, are like my 4 big ones. Like the 4, like they're all expensive or really hard to find or both.
Okay.
And the first one is I've only seen it once for sale, and I could have bought it, but I didn't want to pay what it ended up going for. I think it ended up going for like close to $600, which I just was not in a, I wasn't going to pay it for that, pay that for it. And it's Marmot. It's Monster Heaven. It's 2004-ish. So think about the same time that Batra came out. And it's also the Godzilla Wars color scheme, but for Space Godzilla. So Space Godzilla is the most under sofubied kaiju ever. I just don't get it. It's awesome. But Marmot, they released like 4 or 5 different colorways, some glow in the dark, some other, more of kind of a purple one that kind of looks kind of like him and things like that. But this is a dark blue with like light blue accents. Once again, kind of looks that very much like it could just come off the shelf in Trendmasters. It is a awesome, awesome, awesome piece. And I just see it. I'm like, that to me is just needs to be on my shelf. But it comes up so infrequently. You just got to be willing to pay whatever it is then, or wait a year. And you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. If I see it for a decent price, I'll jump on it. Cause it is truly one of my big 4. I would say that I'm just like missing in the general sofubi realm that like I really, really want. I know that it's going to cost a bit. I'm okay with it, but I don't want to do anything insane yet. I'm not in panic mode. Yeah. There's only one on here that I would overpay a lot because I am in panic mode. But this is one that I think it's like rare, but not unheard of. And it's doable, but it's going to be a quick and a financially, needs to be a quick, but also financially sound decision. But it's a Space Godzilla Marmot 2004 Monster Heaven Godzilla Wars variant. So cool. Love that piece. I think it's just gorgeous.
I also don't understand why there's not so much Space Godzilla.
I don't get it.
Because it seems like that one perfect figure or design.
I agree.
That.
I mean, I get why Kamacuras doesn't have a lot, or Kamunga, or Ebera. I get that. But like, why doesn't Space Godzilla?
I don't know. Somebody's gonna jump on that soon. But dude, I hope you get that, Jay. That sounds.
I really did. I mean, it was like 3 weeks ago that I saw it, and I was just like, I was kicking myself. But where it netted out, I wasn't comfortable at that time. I'm like I said, if I was in panic mode, I would do it. But that was just not. It wasn't there yet.
Now you gave this kind of, you're just talking about your top 4 there about how they're, the more expensive or very rare. My 4, but my top 3 we'll probably get all these. They're not like
next week.
I came at this like in a different way. They're definitely not the super rare things.
Yeah.
My number 3, I cheated on my number 3.
I love it.
I just want to continue this Lit Goji collection.
Yes.
And
the whole line.
And the thing about it is, I don't know how much there is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's just not that much of a there's not a lot that you can find on it. There's not a lot of information. You can't just like Google Lit Goji. You just don't see much.
No.
Most of the stuff I see comes from, there's this one guy I follow on Twitter who's always posting it. I'm like, oh, he's got a lot of it. But it's like, you just don't know what's out there. There's no list. There's no collection of it. So I'm like, well, there's the banks, there's the few things we're finding. But then like you keep finding random, weird Lit Goji stuff. And I'm just like, it feels like there's probably a ton of this shit out there.
Yeah. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact, it's not Marasan or Bandai or Yamakatsu or anything doing that. It's Concord Group, right? Like it's not like one of the big folks. And it's funny because I looked at what's Sean Lickenback's book, The Guide to Japanese Monster Collector, or is that Dana Kane's? Anyway, the two big ones of like just like kind of price guides at the time. They're all out of date now, of course, but they included some of that line, and it's a lot of the stuff that you either have or know about, right? It's the banks, it's the eggs. I still have never seen the Space Godzilla cup in any of them. But that's what I mean. Like when the stuff like the cup shows up, you're like, surely they didn't just make a Space Godzilla cup and that's it, right? Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. It is a fascinating little funky line within this greater kaiju collecting thing, because like it's almost like it's such a mystery, and you never know. Like this week, what new item you're gonna find from it, and because at first it's like if you just do a search, it's like okay, it's some keychains in the bank.
That's all you see.
Like, oh no, there are other things. So yeah, I think that is cool, and yeah, of course, anytime we see it, I'll obviously I share everything I see from a Lit Goji standpoint to you, and hopefully you can build up the greatest collection, at least from an American on this stuff. You might already have it.
I might already have it, but I want it to keep going. It's one of the more fun lines for me to collect, because the fact that I don't know, I don't have any like the fact that I don't know what there is. Well, it's also like not a whole lot of work. It's like I just put a couple save searches in. You're always on the hunt, and it's just like, oh, this exists. I guess I'm buying this. It's not like I have to go type in something specific and be like, all right, well, let me get the 87 Lit Goji, because they're just whatever. I don't know what it is, but I love it, and I want to keep collecting it, and I hope there's a lot. I hope there's a lot more that I. So I
know most of the stuff that you've had, or that you have. Excuse me. I've seen most of it. Are you going to go down like anything in that brand? Like, are you going to collect like the keychains and stuff, or is like the displayability a barrier on that?
So part of the, remember I kind of passed on you had the buttons, and I kind of passed on those because because they're hard to display. Those might have been Godzilla Land, but still,
but there are I had ends on some of the Lit Goji buttons as well. Yep.
But stuff like that, maybe if the prices aren't crazy, I'll pick that stuff up too. The keychains, I think I do want to get, because even though it's not the best displayability, a big collection of all this Lit Goji stuff with just the kind of keychains up front will look fine, I think. So I'm what my plan is to just keep buying whatever I can find. I've bought all those weird prints and shit from me, like that shit ain't displaying really, unless I just keep it all in the box. But God, I still kind of want to go through and open all that.
I know that is, you have to get that like on a live stream or record that, because
I'll have to do it. Yeah, I'll do a video for that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it going.
You know, my favorite one I think that you have as of that. Actually, I have to look up, and I love the Space Godzilla stuff, but I actually think the pin box, the canister of pens and pencils.
I love that.
That's one of my favorite things I think that you have on that line. I really like that one. Yeah.
I love it. And dude, what I really want to find out is that you see in it's like when you look at the banks and the pins and all that, you're basically got the same like 4 or 5 kaiju that they actually make. But then sometimes you're like, oh, they're over here. There's a biollante in this, in the artwork, So it makes me wonder, like, is there a fucking Lit Goji biollante figure out there somewhere? Did they make that? So that's the kind of shit that really interests me, is like wondering how far they went with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and and then you think even like prototypes and things like that. That even make sure your head spin. But there has to be some cool stuff. But it is like I said, it's like a new toy line. You're just waiting for a new release. It's like it was released 20 years ago, but it's the first time you've ever laid eyes on it. It's kind of cool,
right? Yep.
So my number 3 is a pretty famous piece within the sofubi collecting world. It's one that everybody loves, and I think it's one of those that's a little bit, I absolutely adore it, but it's one that's a little bit of a badge of like where you're at in your collecting journey of a sofubi. So, we talked about Haru Nakajima, the M1 being kind of like, not entry level because it's very expensive, but I'm thinking like, it's like a lot of people's first
right
sofubi that kind of gets them in there. And it's just this very iconic, like, okay, you have one of those. Okay, you collect sofubi now, right? Like it's right. As terrible as that sounds, right? Like it truly is like, it's almost like a key to the gates of sofubi. The next one is kind of maybe like a level or two up from that. I just feel like everybody has, and that's the Toygraph. Toygraph, an amazing manufacturer, but very pricey. Other than they have like the Goth Godzilla and stuff isn't that bad. But anyway, and it's their 54, their Oxygen Destroyer Godzilla is what it's kind of been dubbed. I don't know what the official name is, but it's basically the regular 54 suit. I think it's a dark black. But the skull, the head is clear, and you can see the skull sculpted in it.
What?
And it's one of the most,
trying to find a picture of it.
Yeah, beautiful. Like it's Toygraph 1954 Oxygen Destroyer version. It'll be a clear head one. There's like 6 or 7 variants of that version, but that's the best one. And it is it's gorgeous. Now it is something that is, it has not gone down in price. It is definitely one that has risen quite a bit. It's a good price for that. It's about $700 to $750. And that's just kind of what the price is right now. I would say about a year ago you could find them for about $500.
Yeah,
but it's just the price keeps on going up on these bad boys, and people are not getting rid of them. They're awesome. So it's just it's a gorgeous piece. I would buy it, but like it also I think has a little bit of that extra like, okay, if you're really serious about this, you gotta have a Toygraph Oxygen Destroyer Godzilla, and I don't.
I'm looking at it's just such a weird, the fact that any of these figures that have a part of it that's clear and not the whole thing, it's so weird. I love this thing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
You have to buy this.
It's cool. It has sofubi vibes, but it also like is haunting, and I think it does harken back to the 54 and kind of the tones there. In Toygraph, I think Toygraph does a really good job of having a little bit of like, I don't know, not gritty or is not the right word, but like I don't know, there's just something about it that like it's more serious maybe than other sofubi.
Yeah,
but
it's
still goofy. Yeah.
It looks like Toygraph also like had 54 sets where they also come with the diver with the oxygen.
Oh no, I didn't even know that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know how, if you can see this, but there are sets. That's probably pretty blurry, but yeah, there's some sets out there.
Yeah, it's cool stuff, but that's definitely on my list. And it's one that like I haven't seen one pop up in a while. It's not unheard of for these things to pop up, but you just have to be willing to pay it. I would say it's kind of like the Space Godzilla one, where it's like it happens every once in a blue moon. You'll see them pop up, and they're just expensive, and you got to jump on them. But once again, not unheard of, not something that I think I'm gonna have to wait 3 or 4 years to see again. But we'll see.
Dude, I hate to just derail what we're talking about, but this Toygraph stuff, have you seen these transforming Mechagodzilla figures?
I don't.
Oh my God. Okay, we'll come back to it. I'll send you these pictures off air. Holy shit.
Okay.
Cool. Dude, Jay, that's a cool Toygraph. That shit looks amazing. Hey, my number 2, It's that fucking Otaki factory jacket.
What? Oh, I have to change my list. That's my number one now.
I
about that.
I had this like down at number 9, then I was like, no, I want this thing.
No, I would pay whatever because it was the real one like that you I'm assuming you're talking about, not the like the actual one. Like I think it was a Godzilla store exclusive and it sold out in like a second. It seems like
it was, and there was like no way to get it over here.
Yeah.
And fuck, I want that thing. It's beautiful, and it
Yeah.
belongs on me and you, Jay. We belong together, us, the three of us. I want it. That's my number 2.
That's amazing. I totally forgot about that. That absolutely, like I'm looking at my list now and I'm like, okay, would I rather, if I cost aside, if I had to, would I rather have Marmot Space Godzilla or the Otaki jacket? I think the Otaki jacket.
Yeah,
it's like I'm just going down the list.
I want that thing, dude.
Yeah, that's a miss on mine. I totally missed that one. That thing is awesome. You know what? I've been thinking I need to rewatch Singular Point again. It's about time. It's enough time has passed. I think I'm gonna do another rewatch on that. Maybe over the holidays. It might be a great one to rewatch over the holidays.
Yeah. We'll do.
It's not a great one to watch at night though, because I'll fall. Okay, if I'm falling asleep and you have to pay attention during that one. If I'm like already tired, I don't know if I can do it. But that's it was great. I love Singular Point, and that jacket is maybe even better than Singular Point.
Yeah, you're right, dude.
Well, my number 2. I'm going to go into Jake territory and talk about Megalon here. This is the one of my entire list. I've never seen this available. I've never seen it once on sale in an auction. I've never seen it once on any of the sites. It's not even on like Mandarake and stuff. There's not even like an image for it, like a placeholder that said sold out. There's not even something on there. It's Marasan. And there is a clear Megalon that I've talked about this on the show, that the colors are inspired, reminiscent of, they're not a direct like rip off of Jet Jaguar. So it's like oranges and blues and there's some reds in there. And it is, to me, like I looked at it, I'm like, that's like Jet Megalon. But it's also like a clear Marasan sofubi item, which I also love. And I really like, to me, that is 100% on my, if we factor out vintage of my sofubi modern thing, it's on my Mount Rushmore. It's one of my favorite pieces. It's 2009, I believe, Marasan, clear Megalon with that kind of red, orange, and bluey type paint colorway. I haven't seen it. If I do, that's one I think I would be willing to overpay on that one. I really would right now because I've never, not once. It has not once, and I missed it.
That's
I've
crazy.
Never seen it. Yeah,
that's crazy that you just never even seen it. That's a cool. I remember looking that up last time you talked about it, and it's anything Megalon is amazing anyway. So the fact that it's Megalon in a Jet Jaguar, that's just I like that.
Yeah, and so I've seen somebody in one of the groups has it, and they posted it. I forget which one of the mega collectors has it, but they were showing off some of their Marasan Megalons, and they had that in there. And I'm like, that's amazing. Like, is that something? They're like, nope, not getting rid of that one. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Like, I had to ask because I would be doing myself a disservice because he could have been like, sure, I have it, $100. I'm like, okay, I'll take 10. Yeah, but that's one to me. Like, I would feel comfortable. And you know me, I detest the overusage of the term grail because it needs to have some qualifiers and some dimensions to it. But I would say that's the closest of all of these. For me, it's a grail because I've never seen it available. Yeah. I really want it. I would be willing to pay, I think, what's representative of the item. So yeah, I think it's for me, I think it's a grail. Even though it's
that's the definition. If you're gonna use that word, that's the definition of the grail, and that's it's worthy of it. I love that.
Yeah. So that's one. Gotta go Megalon.
Yeah. Well, Jay, I'm gonna hit my number 1 here, and
I'm curious. I don't know what your number 1 is.
Well, you know what? It's like as I'm looking at the list, it's definitely not the most rare. I also kind of cheated, and there's like kind of 2 of the same thing on here, and it's not unattainable. Maybe one of them is it. It's definitely it's not the most expensive thing on my list either. That's probably
Cloverfield.
It's probably Cloverfield. But I almost feel bad having this as number 1. But I want a gigantic X Plus. I just want a gigantic X Plus, and
you got us maybe an 89 coming up soon.
Well, that's what I put on here. I put 2, And I put the 89 on here because I'm wondering what the fuck is happening with it. With its like, I thought it was already supposed to be out, and it's like, where the fuck is this thing?
Yeah,
I'm gonna get it if it comes out. I'm gonna get that. But I wish I had that Shin.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I had the opened mouth version. I don't know what the open mouth version is going for, but that is one of the most beautiful toys I've ever seen. Like, I would love to even just see what that looks like in person.
Yeah.
The size of those things. I will always be super impressed in how the sculpts are. Those gigantic. I've always been the kind of person who I want the big toys. I want the bigger ones. And that's one of the other things that kept me away from Sofubis is that, they don't look like Godzilla. They're expensive and they're small. They're all kind of small. They're all sort of tiny. And I love giant toys. I want one toy to take up as much space as possible. And these fucking X Plus gigantic things, I got the second form Shin thanks to you, and I got Megalon, and I got a couple others, but it's like I have to have a gigantic. I just gotta have it. Yeah. I want one, and it might not be the most rare or hard to find things, but it's just where my brain was at when I made this list. It's like that's what I want.
Well, I think the Shin is great. I think the Shin would probably be your most expensive thing. I think that would top Cloverfield.
Yeah.
It's pretty expensive now. But the 89, if you get the gigantics when they get released, they're expensive, but they're not.
Yeah, but it's affordable. And my plan is to get the 89. Plans. I've been a little worried. I'm like, where is he? I thought he was already supposed to come out. And I'm just like, what is happening? But
yeah, you can't go by schedules or anything. Like, you just never know when things happen or when they ship or whatever.
I will get. That comes out 89. 89 and Shin, I think, are probably my two favorite. 89 is for sure. So I will get that. But that Shin, man, it's just with that mouth open.
Yeah.
It's
cool. I mean, it's a museum piece. It really is. Yeah. And I know like the XM Studios and Spiral and all them do those expensive ones, but like they're great and they're wonderful. I know, and they're even more expensive than that. But like, there's just something about the X Plus Shin that just they just do Shin right. They do. They really do.
Yeah, dude.
Well, you know how you said there's not a lot of giant sofubi? Well, my number one's a giant sofubi. So I've mentioned this, I think, on our very first ever Godzilla and Monster Island with Craig and Abby, our intro to the host episode. Yeah. We talked about like whatever our most desired thing. It still is for me. And it is obtainable. It is something that I could probably go on there right now and find one that's close to it. Maybe not the right condition. And it's one that is not cheap, but it's not a break to make. It would be of my top four. Well, I have no idea what the Megalon would cost, but it would be the cheapest of the four, but it's still expensive. It is the vintage from 1970, the Bullmark Godzilla that is seen in with Ken and the scenes in Godzilla versus Hedorah with the tower. He has to have the tower, even though that wasn't in the film, I don't think. But and I want one that's a little crispy. It's definitely vintage. It's definitely felt in, but like it's still like you can tell what the paint application is, right? Like it's not completely charred with age. But that piece to me is like, I feel like once I have that, like I will have a really good handle on like vintage sofubi, vintage kaiju, vintage Godzilla. It'll be tied into a movie, and which is really cool to see that in the film. And I don't know, it's a piece that is number one on my list. I've been close to pulling the trigger, but I've talked myself out like, it's $500, but it's not exactly. I'd rather would I pay an extra $100 and get it a little bit better quality, or an extra $100 to get the tower or whatever. Like I've talked myself out of it a few times. So I am waiting for that, like that right blend of worn in and played in, but still like, what it is you're looking at. Its eyes aren't rubbed off and stuff. And, and it has the tower, and I think I'll pull a trigger. That's one that when I see it, I will buy it. Like I really do. I think I know in my head what I'm looking for, what quality. And I don't want like the super, like there's some that are thousands of dollars because they're in pristine condition. I don't want that. That does not do anything for me. It's vintage. I want to have a little bit of like, I want to know that kids played with this 4 decades ago, and or almost 5 decades ago, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Now 5 decades ago. I'm sorry. And I really want that piece. And I do think that is one. I'm making a prediction that I think I'll have that by the end of 2022. I think I'll have that one in hand.
Dude, I have a good feeling that you're going to have more than one of these things on your list by
of the
end
top
of
four. Of the top four, that's the one I think is most likely.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, I just think I think it's going to be easier to find than the other three, and maybe the Space Godzilla. But of the four, I think that's the one that I think would be the easiest to find, or I know it's the easiest to find, and it's just a matter of finding the right one and buying it.
Yeah, we're gonna get them, dude. Hey, we're gonna get all this shit. I always fucking by the end of 2020. By the end of 2022, I want to see me and Jay wearing these Ataki Factory jackets.
Oh, that needs to happen. I'm still so mad like we didn't figure out a way to get those over. Because now like you see the bootleg ones, and then you'll see the real jacket, but without the patch. I'm like, what's the point?
Well, yeah, I don't want
the patch is the best part, but I want like a real patch. I don't want like an iron-on not licensed, not official one. It looks like I drew it. But that has to happen. That's when I'll jump on if I see it too. Like 100%. Don't even care what the cost is. It's like blank check that one.
Just get it.
But yeah, I don't know how realistic some of these are, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it the old college try, as they say.
I think these were two really good and two very different sort of lists, and I think they're also like these lists also kind of serve as someone who's not. Maybe if there's listeners who aren't big into the toy collecting, or they're just listening because YHS or whatever, this is kind of a good rundown of like just what's out there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's mostly expensive shit, but like this is kind of all over the place as far as like just what kind of products you could dive into. And some of this stuff on your list, I was like, oh, I've never seen that before. Like I did a small search on my phone while you were talking about that oxygen destroyer, and I found something that I would have put on my list if I would have saw this earlier today. So some good stuff here, man. I think this was all really good stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I just love hearing like kind of like what's on other people's wish list, because you're right. There's a lot of cross-pollination and like the ability to be like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. And it is at least focused on the kind of the broad kaiju genre. Whereas like if you think just a total toy list, it could just be so wacky and out there. Like this is like, we just gave, 20 plus amazing, awesome, really cool toys that are like, that would be a signature piece in anybody's collection. Any of these would have.
Yep.
And the Ataki jacket, which would have been the centerpiece of any wardrobe.
I'd wear it every day.
Every day. We would honestly, we have it, I'm podcasting in it every time.
Yeah, dude. It would just become our uniform.
Yes. We get our names on it. If we go on any longer, there's gonna be just so much fantasy booking of our podcast as it moves forward, and it's all gonna be in the vein of Singular Point.
You're right, dude. Well, Jay, man. I think we did it, man. This is a good, fun episode. Very toy heavy, which I liked.
That's a good, easy one. I mean, I think we have some big things planned in 2022, and it was nice to kind of ease into the holidays talking toys, because guess what? You're buying toys. Everybody's buying toys right now.
It's the right time.
It's the right time. And then we can get back into some movies, some more of our philosophical discussions on everything that is kaiju. And I'm going to get you to watch X from Outer Space, and we're going to have a Gilala talk at some point. And who knows? Maybe we'll talk Ultraman. Maybe we'll talk Mirror Man. Who knows? It'll be good stuff.
We're doing it, man. They're being at that pop up and just kind of looking at some of the other figures it had me thinking about future episodes. It was just like just picking up. I would pick up a figure and be like, oh shit. I want to do an episode just about this toy. So yeah, man, there's some good stuff coming. I don't think I have anything else to say on that. Yeah, you got anything else here, or
no
closing shop?
I appreciate everybody tuning in, and whether it's YHS and Monster Island, and whether you sat through some of the the sofubi jamboree that we did last week with Jake out of town, but also like we're just one little spoke in this giant wheel of YHS, and go check out YHS Prime. I mean, you and Abby and Craig, you've been doing now almost on your 6th year now. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
it's still fun. And when you guys drop those episodes, they still have the same kind of, I don't know, enthusiasm and fun kind of camaraderie and stuff that you had way back when all of us got hooked, listening to you guys. And that's really cool. And then of course the hit sensation, man, the show that is changing the toy collecting community. And that of course is Toy Anxiety. And I was honored to be part of those 3 shows. But we are, myself and everybody that helped sub in for those. We are, I don't want to speak for Geek Dad Life Jay, and I don't want to speak for Jake Stevens and Kat and all them, but like, I think we're happy turning the reins back over to the bosses and the people that created it, and you guys, and along with of course Ryan, Dole, are just amazing. Toy Anxiety is so fun. It's so Sad Comments is the greatest segment in YouTube and podcasting right now, and the Jeffries coming up, the big toy show that you guys do. I'm super excited. Hopefully we can get some cool kaiju categories in there. We're really pumped about that. And then, the other thing, I'm also the Ghostbusters Containment Unit. Those guys do really good stuff. And if you can, go join Group Therapy on Facebook. If you have some extra cash on hand, I know it's the holiday season, join YHS Patreon, throw a few dollars their way, and you get amazing content. It is awesome. And then, of course, last but not least, leave us a review, because we really do appreciate it. We're trying our best to make it in this crazy kaiju podcasting world. And we think we're doing a good job, but we would really appreciate any help. And then, I'm just hoping 2022, 2021, hey, I'll be honest, it's the year of the ghost. It's the year of the Ghostbusters. 2022, I'm hoping, is the year of the kaiju, and YHS on Monster Island, we can go to new heights and really just do some really, really cool stuff. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, dude, Jay, thank you for all that. And I will second, I do need validation. I do need to be told that we're doing a good job, please. And Jay, thank you. And thank you to Toku Toy Town. And guys, you have to go to Toku Toy Town and buy there's so much good stuff on there. It's so weird that I feel like I'm buy so much of my kaiju stuff from one of my best friends here, but I'm just like, he's got all the goods, man. Jay's got all the goods on Toku
We
Toy
try.
Town.
We try.
You gotta go check it out. Yeah. I love it. Thanks to everybody, and I think we're done. I just think I'm done.
We're done.
It's 12:30. I'm gonna go eat a pizza.
Hey,
I'm gonna go
get some. Hey, go buy some sofubi and go do all other kaiju related stuff.
Yep, buy a toy. Bye.